I have a few unique lessons to share with you that I learned from my first year of copywriting. Since I started, I've worked as a freelancer and spent time at an agency too, so I have some tips to share with both the writing and business sides of being a copywriter. The first thing I learned is that there's no such thing as accuracy by volume. What I mean by that is you're not going to get clients by just spamming the same cold outreach script to hundreds or even thousands of people. It just doesn't work that way. You can't take a machine gun approach to cold outreach. You have to be a sniper. What do I mean by that? Instead of sending hundreds of aimless DMs, be deliberate in your messaging. Also be deliberate with who you're reaching out to as well. Make sure that you're only reaching out to people that meet these criteria. They need to have a fairly large audience of at least 10,000 followers or subscribers on their main social media platform. They need to have an offer like a course, school community, coaching program, or mentorship. People with coaching programs and mentorships are the best ones to reach out to, because mentorships and coaching are very expensive. Therefore, your copy will have the biggest impact on the business, and those clients will have the most money to pay you with. The problem is that it's quite hard to know if someone has a mentorship or coaching program, because they're often back-end offers, which means they only promote the course and mentorship to people that have bought their previous course or access to their community first. The third thing that makes a good client is that they already have a poor version of the service that you offer, or no version of it at all. So if you notice that someone doesn't have an email opt-in form or has a poor sales page, that's a good person to reach out to. If you're a beginner, then it's best to go for clients with a poor version of the service that you offer. I'll give you an example why. Let's say you're reaching out to someone that doesn't have an email list and you're offering them emails. If you're a beginner, the client will want you to write the emails and set up the automations on the email marketing software. So you can reach out to those people, but just bear in mind that there's going to be more work than just copywriting. You may have to manage software systems too. I mentioned a moment ago that in addition to being deliberate about who you reach out to, you have to be deliberate in your messaging too. What do I mean by that? Deliberate messaging is where you make it crystal clear to the person why you're reaching out to them, why your message is worth their time, and show how you can help them solve a problem in their business. This is something that I like to call the free consulting method. I've spoken about it on my channel before, but it's basically just a 4-step framework. Point out a problem in the prospect's funnel. Explain to the prospect why it's a problem. Explain how they could solve the problem. Show how you're the right person to implement the solution. You can check out my other YouTube videos on outreach if you want an example of what the free consulting method looks like. The reason why this deliberate messaging works so well is because 99% of copywriters are rubbish. They don't provide any value whatsoever in their outreach messages. So when you send a free consulting outreach email, it's a breath of fresh air for the prospect, and you're a lot more likely to get a response. So those are the first two things you need to be deliberate with: your messaging and who you're reaching out to. But there's another thing as well. You need to be deliberate with improving yourself as a copywriter. You cannot be passive with your progress. If you think that you're going to get better just by doing more and more reps, you're wrong. In another video, I explained how when I was a complete beginner copywriter, I sent over 2,000 outreaches and didn't get a client. Volume without iteration is a waste of time. You need to do enough reps to get insight on how to improve your outreach and copy, and then use that insight to make changes to your copy and outreach. When you keep going through this cycle of testing and changing, it will lead to progress, and that progress will get you to your goal of making a full-time income with copywriting. The most important skill as a copywriter isn't copywriting, outreach, or sales. The most important skill is the meta skill of learning, being able to consume, implement, and iterate on new information, and level up week by week, month by month. Just watch one copywriting video per day on how to improve your copy, outreach, sales, or client management, and how to scale your income. You need to keep learning new information and implementing it. The moment you stop learning as a copywriter, that's when you're just going to be doing mindless reps that get you nowhere, like I did when I first started outreach. So to summarize this video, there are 3 things that you need to do to succeed as a copywriter. Be deliberate with who you reach out to, be deliberate with the outreach messages you send, And above all, be deliberate with your learning and implementation of new information. If you do those 3 things, you will start seeing success very quickly, in as little as a month or 2 as a new copywriter. You may think I'm exaggerating with that, but think about it. How long does it take a prospect to say yes and then tell you what they need you to write? They can send you that work in the time it takes to send an email. You could have a client in a matter of days if you knew what you were doing. So make sure that you're always consuming and implementing new information that is relevant to you at your stage of copywriting. If you want to, you can check out the video on my channel about my advice to a new copywriter. That's where I explain in detail what you need to learn and what order you should learn things in. If you implement the changes that I made in your copywriting efforts, then I'm sure you'll also start having more success with copywriting. I've just shared a lot of my experience with you in this video, but there's still a lot more that goes into becoming a full-time copywriter. You need to learn the principles of persuasion and influence, the process of writing copy, how to structure your writing, find prospects, get their attention with outreach, follow up until you get a response, then close prospects on sales calls, and how to deliver your work to clients and get paid. I've mentioned this before, but I've looked back at my freelancing career and put together a guide for people looking for a direct route to becoming a copywriter. The guide covers everything that you need to know to add to your current income with freelance copywriting, and maybe even become a full-time freelance copywriter if that's what you want to do. And in the guide, I don't just stop after teaching you the very basics about marketing, copywriting, sales, and the other practical skills that copywriters need. I also give you the in-depth details from my personal experience so that you can turn the theory into real skill and get to a level where writing high-converting copy and getting clients is second nature. There aren't many differences between a novice copywriter making no money and a full-time copywriter making thousands. The purpose of the guide is to help you make the small tweaks needed in the fastest time possible and skip the time-wasting mistakes that most copywriters will fall into. And to do that, you'll get access to teaching material that I've written and compiled myself. This includes modules on pretty much every subject matter that you need to know in order to start making money with copywriting. And if you sign up with the link in the description, you'll get immediate access to everything that's currently in the course and access to whatever else is added in the future at no extra cost. And if you sign up with the link in the description, you'll get immediate access to everything that's currently in the course and access to whatever else I add in the future at no extra cost. Like I said, I share a lot from my experience on this channel, but if you want to get lifetime access to a structured copywriting guide that gives you all the knowledge you need and guides you on how to develop your skills, then you're welcome to enroll and level up your copywriting. The link to do so is in the description below. But other than that, thank you for watching. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and I'll see you in the next video.